I tried out the new unofficial Gacha app, Gacha Animator. This basically lets you animate whatever you want with a Gacha Animator, something that the actual games can't do. And ever since this new app came out, there's been a bit of controversy around it, to say the least. So obviously, I checked it out. So in this video, I'm going to be diving into what Gacha Animator is. Okay, so first we need to talk about what this game is. This guy named Fenlol Studio released a game called Gacha Animator, where you could just animate your own gacha character super easily, like this. Usually when you need to animate your gacha character, it takes a lot of hard work to be able to set up the different parts of the body. For example, I had to animate this arm so it's able to move in the first place. And that's called rigging. I needed to rig the arm so I don't have a completely still arm that's practically broken. But in this game, you don't have to do that. You just make your character and you can animate it really easily. There's no actual rigging process, and you can just jump right into the animator after creating your character. So that's what we're going to do first. So now that we know what this game is, time to actually get into the game. First, I realized that the game wasn't on computer, so I took the other option. I opened up an app that lets me play mobile games on my computer, and I got to work. So obviously the first step was to open up the app and see what it was. And I think off the bat, I can say that it was like really laggy. So I just closed the application and started again, and it was fine, sorta. And so I just started to create my character. The clothes and hair that I could choose from were also super small compared to the actual game too. Overall though, it was completely fine and I managed. I mean, this game is in its first development stage, so I don't expect much. Something that was actually kind of cool though that isn't in the actual gacha games is that you could actually choose the color from a color wheel or something instead of just limited colors to choose from. But anyway, as I was creating my character, I soon got to the eyes section, and there was about 11 different eyes. This was probably a billion times more disappointing than it needed to be, but I'm expecting for there to be a lot more down the road when or if the game gets updated more. So, I mean, I'm not really upset by how many options there were, because you could choose what type of pupil you wanted, which I really liked. Anyway, after creating a Walmart version of my character, I could actually start animating. So after animating for a bit, I came up with a pretty unrealistic animation that could definitely use some work, but it was pretty fun and easy nonetheless. I unironically had a fun time animating, which is a first, so that's good. But the animating part is definitely where the controversial part comes in. A lot of people have gotten mad at the game or say they don't like it because it seems like it's a cheat, since you're skipping the actual process to rig the characters. I've even seen some people say that they don't want to cheat, in quotation marks, at animating, and that this app is pretty much doing that. People also say that it can take away from the legit work that actual, in quotation marks again, animators do, and I think this one person said something too, that it downgrades the essence of animating since everything is pre-rigged and readily made. So with all this controversy, I just thought I'd mention something. I do agree that it really does downgrade the essence of animating, since you pretty much are skipping the actual rigging process, which, trust me, is very hard. People will probably view it as less work or not as impressive if you're using this app. If this takes over the animation portion of the community, I think animating will definitely be looked at with a lot less respect, since there's a lot less effort needed. Honestly though, I doubt that it actually will take over the animating portion of the community, since this app already has died down quite a bit, to be honest. I don't see many people actually using it other than the sake of testing it, But also, I think that it'll definitely be easy to tell when you're using Gacha Animator or when you're using an actual app that takes a lot more effort. Gacha Animator still takes time and effort, just less effort than other apps. But gonna be honest, if you use other apps, it'll take more effort, but the result will definitely be better. The phrase hard work pays off has literally never been so relevant right now. For example, you can literally do full-on spins and turns with other apps with Gacha, which is like, what? Oh my god, pal, please teach me. You can even create 3D models or whatever, but pretty much all you can do in Gacha Animator is just animate your character, and it definitely has a limit to what you can do. In this one comment from a friend of the creator of the game, they confirm that you won't ever be able to actually do front-face animating, so the game definitely has those limitations. You also can't do adjustments to your character right now, and there's not many options right now in terms of clothes or whatever. The game will be updated to have a bunch of adjustments and more options though, so I guess we just gotta wait and be patient, which kinda sucks because I suck at that, but you know. I understand when people say that they don't really like the game because it kind of gets rid of the hard work of actual animating, but I don't really think it matters since the program that you use doesn't really define your actual skill. Like, you could use a super trash editor, but if you came out with something good, you still put in hard work. Probably a lot more hard work since, you know, the editor is trash. You could use a super easy app like this, and if your result pretty much sucked, that would still mean that your outcome sucked. I mean, I don't think anything actually sucks, but you know what I mean. Your skill factor isn't determined by what program you use, basically. I think a good example would probably be my own animation. Although the animation is smooth, that's kind of like the bare minimum of animating when you're animating with something like this. Using this program, it's expected to be smooth. I hope. I mean, imagine if someone animated this with like, I don't know, 2 frames. Top-notch animating. But anyway, my animating wasn't that smooth, and honestly, it was pretty slow, and the movements didn't seem realistic at all. It looked like it was in slow mode, except for the ending when it kind of sped up. I mean, honestly, if people want to use this to animate, I'm not going to stop them. I don't think it means that they have no skill for using it, and if you want to use the program, go for it. But that literally doesn't matter because this game is illegal, like copyright. According to actual laws and stuff, you're not allowed to use someone else's content without their permission. Everything in the official Gacha games are considered copyright, which means that you aren't allowed to put that content in your game. If you share your game anywhere using stuff that you don't own, that's considered copyright infringement, which is basically just a fancy way of saying that you stole it and that it's not allowed. This includes practically everything: the hairstyles, the clothes, the bodies, the eyes, almost every single thing in this app, except the actual animation portion is copyright infringement, which, you know, is stealing. Not to mention the fact that they're most likely making money off of this. Basically, the creator of Gacha Animator put out a form for everyone to take. Basically, you just answer questions about the app. It's basically a review. One of the questions is, what do you think about getting money from ads in this app? This basically means that they'd be making money from the app by ads being shown, which is basically making money from content that isn't yours. And by judging by what people answered, they definitely put ads on the app, since, you know, 90% of people said to put ads on the app. But that is actually illegal. If you're making money from this, you're basically making money from the content that you didn't make. But, you know, there might be a possibility that they did get permission to use the assets. But it's confirmed that they didn't get confirmation to use this content in their game because of what they said in the description of the video. Basically just saying that they asked for permission to make the game, but they got no response. So yeah, I don't know why this game is on the App Store. Gonna be honest, this whole thing seems a bit sus. If you want to use this app, go for it, but I don't know how it's on the App Store when the app is basically not allowed to be on there. This is copyright infringement, and people can literally get sued for that, which isn't exactly the most fun thing. According to, the literal government, copyright infringement is when you're using copyrighted work that's not yours to distribute, publicly display, or whatever without the permission of the copyright owner. And as you can see, the creator didn't get permission. Gonna be counting down the days until it gets taken down, I think. I don't know if it'll actually get taken down, but probably it's illegal.